Everybody.
I get 10 minutes when I usually talk. I do an hour, 40, so I'm doing 10 minutes. It'll be the quickest 10 minutes.
I got him on the clock.
Yeah, I know, you've never heard. So yes, I used to be an athletic director. I was a dean of students, which was a vice principal. I taught psychology. I went on to teach psychology at college. I ran the marathon a bunch of times. Dana-Farber, that's where the hat. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a lot of different things. I retired early. I'm an entrepreneur, I guess. I own a restaurant, I own a flower shop. I author children's books. I do a lot of different things, but I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for athletics. And I think that's why we're all here today. And, you know, it sounds easy. When I talk, you know, I got to give you the quick 1-minute backstory so you all understand that. So, we're talking to you and your sons and daughters. You know, it's really difficult for them, and I hope you all understand that. It's a really difficult time in their life, okay, to be an adolescent. You know, 40% of kids who go to school now don't feel great about themselves. Like, feel hopeless, right? Really hard for them. They look in the mirror, they don't love who they see, and they should do that, okay? But how do I know? So I do this speech when I talk to different people in groups. It's called the Yellow Bike, and it'll be 1 minute. Okay, so when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I was bullied so bad that I rode a yellow bike to school. I lived in Duxbury. I lived 6 miles from school. I rode it every single day for 2 years. I was overweight. I had this big mop of hair, okay, and I was special ed. I couldn't read or write. So there was no way I was getting on that school bus. So for 2 years straight, I rode my bike to school, 100%. Rain, sleet, snow, did it all. Okay, then I got up to high school, and all I wanted to do was go to college. And it's amazing that my special ed teacher used to tell me, you're like, Dan, you can't go to college. He used to really say this to me. He's like, you can become a ditch digger. Imagine that? So I went to Bridgewater, flunked out. I actually became a ditch digger. I worked at the Duxbury Cemetery. Went to Norwich, and I flunked out of there. I ended up at Westfield State College, where I played football, and where I graduated from because I had a great mentor in my life. Really, really great mentor that helped me, and helped me succeed. Okay? So, for your kids, you got to remember, athletics is the biggest thing in their lives right now. And it's really hard for them. You know, and I ask all the time, please, please, please talk to your kids. And it doesn't have to be about sports, but you know who's talking to your kids right now if you're not? It's Instagram, it's TikTok, and these people called influencers. They talk to your kids, and they tell you how to act, how to dress, how to eat. Okay? I learned a really hard lesson. Okay? I was coaching club softball, and my younger daughter, Anna, up at bat, pops up, we lose the game, and I scream, Anna! Why did you swing at that pitch? 10 years old, you know? We got in the car on the ride home, I think we were in Sharon, and my daughter asked me if I loved her. I was like, Anna, what are you talking about? She's like, Dad, all you talk about is softball. What a hard lesson for myself, right? I'm with kids all day long. I'm trying to teach kids and help kids and mentor kids, and there's my own daughter saying that to me. Okay? So I ask all of you, talk to your kids. Ask them how their day was. What's going on at school. Okay? I ask my daughters all the time, what you learn at school? They're like, nothing, Dad. I'm like, we had to learn something because I'm paying a lot of tax money, and I was a teacher, so you learned a lot. It's the best time in their life. It's also a really hard time in their life. I'll give you 2 quick stories. Okay? Right? 2 quick stories. Okay? I had a girl on my team, so we were 7 through 12, high school. Fantastic softball player. Like, better than most kids in the league. 12 years old. Dynamite. I'm coaching third base. She ends up on third base next to me, and she's crying. I'm like, you all right? Like, sprained your ankle? What's the matter? She's like, my dad's going to be mad at me. She's 12 years old. I was like, what are we doing here? So we get into the dugout, And I can't even get her onto the field because she's still crying. Imagine that being 12 years old, a little girl. She's just a little girl. So after talking to her, she's like, well, my chances of getting a scholarship and getting recruited are never going to happen. I was like, what are we doing here, right? So I would take my first base coach, who ironically was my football coach. He's 85 years old. And I put him in the way of the father. So when she was on first base, she can't turn and look at her dad. That's not what we would want to be, folks. You know, when you get home, you know, everybody says, not every kid should get a trophy. I'll fight that forever. Every kid should get a trophy. And it doesn't have to be a piece of metal. It's a little bit of encouragement. So when they get home, give them a pat on the back. And don't say, geez, did you score a goal? Or did you make the pass? Or did you make the putt? Just ask them how their days are. Okay? And encourage them. And love them. And be positive with them. Because I'm telling you right now, the amount of times I've been in my office with kids, with girls and boys who don't wear the right clothing, and they're bullied so bad that they're crying. Really, really hard. It's a hard time in their lives. It's going to be the best time. So I'll end it with this. I've never, 30 years of coaching, 35 years, varsity, right? Varsity football, varsity girls hockey, varsity everything. I've never met any child from 8 years old up that try to make mistakes. They don't try to make mistakes. They're doing their best. Okay? I've never met a person say, I'm going to miss that shot, or I'm not going to score that goal. So think about it. Just think about it. And the last story, and I'm done, man. For all of you that bring to Bridgewater over to the door, I go there all the time because my softball team plays there. And no, I don't coach them in the off-season. I watch them. But when you walk through the catwalk up on top, and there's soccer fields on the sides, and the people are leaning over, there's 8-year-olds playing and 10-year-olds playing, and they're screaming at their kids, kick the ball! Kick the ball! Do you understand? They're hearing you, they can't even process that. Okay? So when you go to the games in West Bridgewater, your coaches are doing the best they can. The referees are doing the best they can. Your athletic director's doing the best they can. Your principal's doing the best they can for your kids. That's why we're all in education. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Good luck this year.
All right, we're back. But thank you so much. Just sharing a different perspective, supporting our student athletes. You know, I'll be meeting with our kids in a couple weeks, and certainly, you know, talking about, you know, expectations, but also just helping them maybe deal with some stressors that, you know, we have high school kids trying to figure out college, seniors trying to figure out college, new 7th graders, you know, just trying to figure it out. So we're here to support them. We love them, and we're looking forward to a great year. So let's get started with my presentation. And so it's myself, we have our athletic trainers, and then we have our boosters. So again, thank you so much for your time. Just want to share some things that, some little things that I want to share, but also just things that we see that come up in our athletic office or in the school dealing with athletics. So I just, first of all, wanted to share some important dates. We have homecoming the week of the 20th. So there'll be more information about that. Pep rally will be Friday. We have, you know, multiple games going on during the week. I haven't sent the invitation yet, but on Wednesday, October 1st, we have our varsity jacket breakfast. So for those getting their jacket, you know, stay tuned. That invitation will be coming. And then just looking forward, we have our June 1st Varsity Athletic Awards Night. Believe it or not, it'll be here before we know it. So as I said, we have our homecoming week of 1020. I'll be doing the CalPlop fundraiser again. It's $30, and it's a 50-50. So you have the opportunity to win $1,500. We had Tom Tracy, who was one of Steve Reddington's friends, win last year, and he was so excited. So it's a fun, great opportunity to help us and also win some money for yourself. Also, we have this clothing apparel store online. It's through BSN. Again, I'll share this whole presentation with you, and you can go on and check it out, and all the links are live. You can go on. So you can customize shirts, sweatshirts. They have a whole bunch of things on there, Lululemon, all sorts of stuff. So great place to get some West Bridgewater apparel. You can check that out. Talking about going forward, ticketing, so we're going to be charging for all night games on the turf and our volleyball matches at 5. So right now on GoFan, which I will show you the link to that shortly, there are season passes up there, I believe, for volleyball and football right now, and then single games. So we're still working on that. We will be adding up there. And again, more information will come out about that. This is just another blurb about playing sports in college. If you're interested, if that's something your student, your child is looking to do, it's just a punch list. I also had a flyer, kind of a program out there that you can check out. It was for a student athlete going to college if they want to play sports, kind of from the NCAA. So that's out there. And again, that link is right here, the link to that, that brochure that I have out there. So great people to start with. If you're thinking, if your child wants to do that, is talk to your coaches. They're your best resource, certainly. And guidance here, is another great resource to touch base with, to make sure you're doing all the things you need to do for your student so they're eligible if going on to college is something they're going to do and play sports, which is awesome. This is just a list of things we're going to be going through. Just sharing, our conference that we're in is the South Coast Conference. There's the Gold Division, the Blue Division. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. This is our second year going in there. These are just the names of our head coaches. Again, I'll share this. And most are here, so you'll be able to chat with them afterwards. So just as kind of Dana was talking about, also kind of, athletics is truly an extension of the classroom. So, many of the traits required to be a special participant in sports are exactly those that will promote success in school and beyond. And that's truly part of my philosophy is, helping kids, arm them with the skills they need to, be in high school, but also to move beyond. So our coaches, they strive to teach our student athletes hard work, respect, sportsmanship, humility, good character, teamwork, and accountability. All wonderful traits, to be whether you're in high school or wherever you choose to go in life. Just talking about playing time. I know it's never fun, but truly your coaches are with your students probably more than you. So they are the ones to, that deal with that. They're at practices. They are so invested. We are so lucky, and we have them here tonight. So I applaud them. I thank them for what they do every single day. But to be clear, playing time is up to the coach. So that is, and if, that is definitely coach's decision. And if you have questions about that, please reach out to your coach. Have your student reach out to your coach. This is just the communication process. As we wish everything would just go without any interruptions or without any issues. We know that things do come up, and certainly we need to, talk about them. But we're just asking that you kind of go through the process. So really looking for your athlete to talk to the coach, number one. If that truly isn't going to work out, I would let coach know that, we're all going to meeting, whether it's athlete, coach, myself. And if it gets to that point where we're just not finding the resolution, then, we'll pull our principal in. And again, everybody will be in the know of that process. But ultimately, we really want that number one to happen where the athlete and coach are communicating. So there has been some updates in the athletic code handbook. So definitely, I have the link here. Take a look at it, go through it. There's, like it is there, student athlete code of conduct, risk of participation, spectator code of conduct. Some of these things I'll be talking about again, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but please look it over. It's a great resource for information. These were updates or additions to the athletic code handbook this year. One was the philosophy, and again, I'll go along, but one that is new this year will be the general rules, number 9 on page 9. So if a student has an unexcused absence on the day before a game, they are not permitted to participate in the game, but they are still required to attend. So that is something that is now in the handbook. So just please be aware, if something comes up, which we understand it does, please communicate to the coach so we can hopefully not have that happen. And then again, athletic fee paid, these things were just added. They just were not in there, and I really felt it important to have them in the handbook. And again, some of these I'll be going over again on another slide. Talking about athletic eligibility, in order to participate in athletics, you have to sign up on Arbiter Sports. We must have a physical exam in the nurse's office. They go for 13 months, so if you have the date of the physical, it goes 1 month after. So we have to have that on file. They cannot participate without it, so please, 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 we don't want to pull anybody off the field or the track, because they don't have it. The concussion test, I know Audra and Cass have been working on that, so I'm going to let them talk about that. If they will contact you, your student athlete, I think the emails have been going through Arbiter Sports, so please just keep a lookout on that. And again, Audra and Cass can kind of firm up that information as to where that stands at this moment. The athletic fees, $300. If you have, I'm going to be reaching out probably next week, and we are going to be really stringent on, having these payments made. It is really, really tough for myself and our main office secretary, Ms. DiLorenzo, who is amazing, to really track down these, and we're doing it at the end of the year, and it really is no fun. So we're going to be making it mandatory. It has to be in. But if anyone, or if you know of anyone that has an issue, please reach out. As long as we know we have something in place, whether it's a payment plan or whatever else may be, we will work with you 100%. But we really need this to get done, so when the next season comes along, then we can collect those. So I will email it out when it's happening, but if it doesn't get done, your child is going to have to sit until we get that in. Again, we are tracing down 30, if not more, athletic fees at the end of the year. So we appreciate your help on that. And once again, if you need any help, please don't hesitate to reach out. This is just, again, on the sports registration. Winter and spring sports are coming up, so please be mindful that I do close it on the Wednesday before it starts. So the dates I have in here are when it will close. It does reopen that first day, but it really makes us sad. We don't want to hold anybody back, for not playing. I know it's when I have children, the kids come into my office and they're like, please, Mrs. Hamel, I feel so badly, but I'm trying to remain consistent, and, I do understand there's a lot going on, but if you can register without getting the athletic fee paid, without having that physical. You can't play without them, but you can get that registration in, because Audra and Cass and I are working on a lot of different things for eligibility that we need to make sure are in place, so we don't have any ineligible kids out on the field and then we get penalized. So be aware, like I said, before we know it, it's going to be November. That registration is open now. You can sign up at any time. It will be open all the way until spring sports. If you're signing up for your second sport, so you've already signed up for fall and now you're signing up for your second, you may receive the prompt like this: duplicate registration, or I think it's edit. You need to press duplicate, because that will duplicate it, and then you can choose the sport. You cannot, it's for my own purposes, I am looking into it, but right now you can't choose 3 sports at once. You have to do each sport separately. So these are some important links. Again, I will share this with you. I have them, and I just wanted to take a minute, to show the athletic website, which of course it's not going to be on there, just so you kind of have a place to go to get information. So when you go on, this is on the West Bridgewater Public Schools. You go to schools, down to athletics, and there's some information here. We have our sports registration, athletics informational flyer, so on and so forth. I will update that as we get closer to winter, and that will then come on. There's some concussion information. We have pictures up there. So we will be updating this, but it's a great place to go for information. Again, all of these will be updated. soon. So again, it's just another resource if you're looking, and on there is also staff, so there's, I think, coaches' information on there as well. I also wanted to show you, this is what the Go Fan looks like. This is where you can purchase tickets. Right now, like it says, we have the varsity volleyball, we have football, and then we have single games up there. So Mr. Reddington, who's amazing, is helping me, so we'll get that updated as well. Also, which I know I'm very excited about and so happy that it's up and running. We have had the huddle camera in the gym, and thank you to Boosters, you know, we've been working so hard. That huddle camera now that is at the turf is now live. So we will now be, you know, live streaming and videotaping, you know, games on the turf. So I think that's a huge addition and very exciting for our teams. Just Arbiter Live, if you would, you know, Google it, Arbiter Live, you go to West Bridgewater. This is what you see. You have to hit show all, and our teams come up. So again, another resource for schedules, another place to go. So I have the Twitter, athletics Twitter, but thank you to Audra. She has gotten me up and running on Facebook. So bear with me. I now have a Facebook page for athletics, and you know, I'll be trying to utilize that as well to tweet out. I think a lot of people maybe have Facebook, I'm not so sure, but hoping it's another venue, another way to, you know, continue to support our kids and celebrate what they're doing every day. And I will, again, this will be sent out, and I can put that in the email as well, so we can, you can check it out. And as Dana was talking about, I'm not going to touch much on it. I know you guys know already. Just, you know, being the positive power of positive spectatorship. So really just enjoying our games, enjoying coming, you know, and cheering your kids on, whether it's the other team, our team, you know, just really enjoying watching the game. I think it's so fun. I love it. I could watch any sport. I absolutely love it. And I will cheer our kids on 100%, you know, and so I work extremely hard to get these games up and running, between busing, between officiating, between, you know, just scheduling. But I will say I have been an official, and it's hard. It's not that easy. So please be kind to our officials. You know, the criticizing or commenting on their officiating, nobody wants to make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to make a mistake. But things happen, you know, so, and we're so happy to have them. Otherwise, we couldn't have our games. And I suggest, please, if there's a sport you like, if there's a sport you think you can do, go officiate. You know, I know when I officiated field hockey, that was an eye-opener for me. I played at a high level, but when you're out there, you know, officiating the game, it certainly is a little bit different. And we do have, you know, it's a spectator card. I don't think I have used it yet, but it's from our conference, the SCC. So, you know, we use that as your first warning, and then after that, if we really have to talk to you again, we're going to have to ask you to leave. So I really appreciate your help, and I know the officials and coaches do as well. That's just the card. Again, I'll share all of this with you. So these are some things that we come upon, questions all the time, so we figured we might as well put them in here just as reminders. Students must be in school by 7:45 a.m. every day. Please, of course, if something happens, you know, and there's a note or something like that, we understand. We'll work that out. But I get the attendance list every day. That goes out to coaches every single day after school, so they see exactly what time your child came in. And unfortunately, if they aren't in on time, they cannot attend or be at practice that day at all. These are just other, you know, common courtesies for coaches, you know, hey, reach out to them ahead of time. It's super. Like, I think if you reach out to a coach ahead of time and then, you know, they know there's something going on, they're happy to work with you, you know, so that, you know, it's helpful to them. They plan, they take time to plan their practices and with the amount of numbers of kids that they have and really kind of setting it up. So that's super helpful. Again, I already talked about it. If they're unexcused absence on the day before a game, they cannot go, they must attend, but they cannot play. Expecting, obviously, athletes to be at practices, unless they're sick or there's an excuse. And then just reminding, practices go Monday through Friday. You could be going 2 or 3 games a week. It's a rigorous schedule. But we need, we ask for the commitments, and, I know our coaches do too, so we appreciate it. And everyone does a super job anyways, but we just reminders. This is just academic eligibility. One term, we'll be getting progress reports. I'm sure those in the next couple of weeks will be starting to come out. So this is just as it goes down. When term 1 report cards are released, any athlete failing 2 courses immediately becomes ineligible to continue any fall sport or becomes ineligible for winter sports. So again, we get the list, and then we have to, unfortunately, tell kids. But so, just help, try to keep on top of it, reach out to teachers if your kids need help. And then as you see it go in descending order, the one I will say is just to remind you, as we kind of get to the end of school, when term 4 comes, that's unique because we go by term 4 and their final grade. So it's just worth a read, and just making sure and kind of are keeping on top of that with your kids. Transportation, our expectation is that kids are going to and from an event on the bus. You get 1 freebie, so you don't have to email me. You can just reach out to coaches. They know that already. So that you do get a freebie in there. And it's helpful. I mean, buses are super expensive, so, we really, really appreciate it. Some of the off-campus stuff, we have boys and girls ice hockey, we have co-op for lacrosse, so those are where parents or an individual are expected to provide their own transportation. This is help in our hallway. If you could remind your kids, or, I'm sure I will be reminding them anyways, but when I get too many kids hanging around after school, it just, it's a busy time for me. It's a busy time for Audra and Cass, and, it causes a distraction. So they really need to be, if they could, just hang out outside until their practice is coming, maybe 15 minutes before. I spoke to some coaches about that. It's super helpful. It gets really busy down in that athletic hallway down there, and really loud. So it's very, very helpful. And sometimes we can't supervise. So unless there's a coach there, just for liability purposes, we really need kids to be out of the building until then. So helpful, so trying to help the main office secretaries if athletes can go through door 5. We unlock that after school so kids can come in and out. I know they need to see the trainers, athletic trainers, so that door is there. And then just helping out coaches or us, just please picking your child up on time after a practice or after a game. Coaches have families too, and they need to get home, but certainly we do not want to leave any child, standing by themselves or, not standing alone. We definitely want to stay. So, and then these are some rules for the MIAA. So the MIAA, the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, for those maybe, I know a lot of you probably do know, but some who don't, that is our state association. They have an MIAA handbook. I have the link to the MIAA website here. That is what we abide by. So all these rules that I'm coming up with next are ones that are put on us by the MIAA. So those are the 3 that I'm going to talk about. I did a little cheat sheet for myself here to make it easy. But the bona fide team member rule. The rule's really in place to protect the commitment and integrity of school athletic teams. So once your child joins a team, that team's their priority. So they can't miss a school practice or game to participate in a non-school athletic event, like a club, AAU, travel, showcase. And if they do, unfortunately, they can face a suspension. So first violation is 1 school contest. Second violation is 25% of the season. But there is a waiver. So again, communicate that to your coach. We can submit a waiver. We've done it many, many times. And then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about that game. But communicate to that coach, and then there's no suspension, which is awesome. The MIAA chemical health. Again, from the first practice through the end of the school year or final athletic event, whichever is later, they cannot have alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, steroids, all of the drug paraphernalia, vaping, it's just, trying to help when athletes are going out too, we want them to be at their best, at their healthiest. So all of these things too definitely affect their performance. But unfortunately, it does happen. I know, it does. And so there are consequences for this. And we don't like to do it, but it is, and I'm sorry, my flyer says it's 24%, but it's 25. So your first offense is you miss 25% of the contest. And it's hard. I feel so sad when I have to tell a student athlete that unfortunately they can't play because of that. So we're trying to really work with them and help them, and I will be talking with them again or for the first time in a couple weeks. And their second offense is 60%, which is a lot of the season. If they do a treatment program, it decreases to 40%. So we're all together just trying to keep our athletes healthy, safe, able to perform their best, and on and off the field. So we're doing our best, and I hope I don't have to do it, but unfortunately, that is there. So these are just as you go through, it just obviously shows you the amount of games. And then again, this was a slide I just did for preventing prescription opioid use. There's a link to a resource there. Check it out. I'm here to help. Your coaches are here to help. If you know of someone that's struggling or needs help, let us know. Well, guidance is here to help. Mrs. Page is amazing. Mr. Hanna, always wanting to help and support all kids, but in this instance, student athletes. I just like to say this because captain's practices come up that term often. Not really right now, but I forgot at the end of the year. I wanted to remind everyone that the captain's practice has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with coaches. It has nothing to do with, it is not sanctioned by the MIAA. Usually that means it's like an unsupervised practice and there's liability involved with that. Someone gets hurt, so that is nothing. Your child does not have to attend that. That has nothing to do with tryouts, decision of tryouts, who makes the team, has nothing to do with that. So as we get closer to the end of the year, I'll be reiterating that. This is just facilities. I get a lot of facilities applications. This is just, we have a new incident IQ, so I just want to put this up there because in case somebody wants to use the gym, field, turf, you got to put it in, have liability insurance. And of course, any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Those are some of the things that, like I said, we see throughout the year, and I hope it helps. I will send that out to you. And now I'm going to introduce our wonderful athletic trainers, Audra and Cassidy, and I will let them tell you a little more about it. Thanks, everyone.
All right, hi, my name's Audra, if you don't already know. This is my 8th year with West Bridgewater, and Cassidy here is a new grad with her master's. She's a Cardinal Spellman alumni, and she's gonna be taking over for me in November when I go on maternity leave. And she's gonna be here all fall, so it's a seamless transition, and she gets to know everybody before I'm gone. These are both of our emails, a phone number that goes directly to voicemail. So if you call it and expect us to answer, we will not, but we can get back to you if you leave us a voicemail. And then our room is down at the end of the hallway at the gym, right at door 5. So if you ever need to send your kids, that's where we will be. So when to see me, send your kids our way. For injuries, medical conditions such as allergies or asthma, medications with EpiPens, inhalers, or any other medical concerns that you have that can affect them during sports. Concussions, so making sure that we report all head injuries, anything that happens in practice, outside of school, sports, in school, like gym class, and we want to make sure that we avoid second impact syndrome, which is if something goes undiagnosed or unreported and they get hit in the head again, it can be a longer recovery, more dramatic issues. And then physicals, just making sure that you turn in updated physicals as soon as you get them. We can keep track of them. If you bring them to me or Cassidy, we make sure that the nurse gets them after we upload them into the registration. And any student, making sure any student that has an inhaler, EpiPen, or glucose monitoring device has it with them at all times, at practices, at games, away games, because they are responsible. We can't have anybody else that's in charge of all of it, because we're not always with them 24/7. Doctor's notes. So anytime one of your athletes goes to a doctor for illness, injury, whether they have a cold, literally anything that excuses them from school or from practice, for a medical condition, including dentist, we need a note that returns them to sport. So just making sure they're cleared and there's no indication that they can't participate. Just as well, making sure that if you do get cleared, whether it's like a surgery or a major injury, Cassie and I also need to evaluate them for play, just in case they're not fully ready or they're not functionally proficient. So making sure, just so you're aware. Medical notes can go to us or the school nurse, but it's better to send it to us because then we can get it to the nurse. And sometimes the nurse doesn't get it our way before the end of the school day, and then we're stuck chasing it down. Making sure that the coaches and us are aware of any injury or illness. And the notes that you get must have a return to play date. It can't say as tolerated. It can't say when they're feeling better, because that's not really concise. So as long as it says cleared, no restrictions, that works for us. Or 1 to 2 weeks, that works as well. And that's it for us. So if you need us, give us a holler. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. And I couldn't get through the day without them, so they're phenomenal. And next we have Kim Foley, who's the head of our boosters, and just wanted to shout out to all the boosters. Thank you so much for all you do. You certainly help the athletic department run, and we couldn't do what we do, or I couldn't do what I do without you, so I'm greatly appreciative. Oh, welcome, and Linda Hume.
Hello, good evening. Okay, I have my cheat sheets as well. Okay, so I just first want to, again, introduce myself. I'm Kim Foley. I am the president this year of the Athletic Boosters. Linda is the vice president. Jen Kelly, I don't know if she's in the room right now, but she is our treasurer, and Terry O'Neill-Kearton is our secretary. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit about us, we are a parent-run volunteer organization whose objective is to support the West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School athletes by supplying funds to the school's athletic department that the town budget cannot support for all sports. And this does include football, although they have their own gridiron, but if asked, we try to assist in their needs. Okay, next. It's a very important role.
It is.
Okay, so just wanted to tell you a little bit about what we do in terms of the year. And we just wanted you to know, or did you know, that this year alone, the 24-25 school year, that we helped the athletic department with almost $43,000 in funds requests. So, and we're happy to do that. So a few things that are listed, which you can see up on the screen as well. I won't go through all of them. I was going to mention that the huddle speaker is up and running, which is fabulous. That will ease a lot of people's questions. But I know, exciting. So we helped with cheer choreography and mats, some pop-up nets for field hockey and soccer, huddles, some turf soil for the baseball fields, a new storage container for the baseball fields, coach buses for some faraway soccer and field hockey games. We funded the lacrosse program, the co-op program, a new Dr. Dish basketball shooting machine that's in the gym. I'm sure at some point kids who are just coming in the 7th grade will be able to utilize that. A new ice machine is it here yet? Not yet. Okay, it's coming. September. And we refurbished some of the equipment, specifically the treadmills in the gym, stipends for end-of-year celebrations, senior plaques, etc., banners that go up in the gym that update, different records and so forth. We helped and assist in a new backdrop for pictures and things like that for college acceptances or different things that we have in the gym. So in addition to these requests that we pay and fully support, the booster fundraisers also allow us to pay for the fall jacket night. That's going to become fall jacket breakfast. It used to be in the evening, but we've switched it to a breakfast, so I'm getting used to saying that. But so that's going to be coming up, and we have 51 students at the breakfast receiving their jackets, which is really cool. It's a long-standing tradition that we have kept in place in West Bridgewater, where a lot of other towns have done away with that. But the kids really enjoy it, and it's fun to see them all wear their jackets at the football games or wherever they decide. And those jackets are costly. They're run about $150 per jacket. Then we move on to the Spring Athletic Awards Night, which we offer a complimentary full program. A lot of you have participated in donating throughout the year, and we appreciate that, and your names are listed in the program, and we hope you continue to do that. That particular event costs the boosters anywhere from $15,000 to $18,000. So fundraising is essential, and we try to keep 2 years of that budget aside, just in case we ever fall short. We'll always be able to offer that particular program, which the kids love and you as parents love, and if you've not been to one, you will see. And we also just we increased our scholarship money from $2,000 to $4,000. So these are just some pictures. I'm sure we can slide right past it. You're probably ready to go. So another thing, and I just can't stress this enough, that how important the collaboration is for us with St. Anne's for bingo. And I know it doesn't seem very exciting for you all to come and give a few hours of your time on a Thursday throughout the year. I know it's super appreciated by us, but who really appreciates this are your athletes, your kids, the athletes as a whole, because without this particular fundraiser, we would be in a lot of trouble. So we appreciate anything that you can give back to bingo. There's a flyer that went out. I won't give you all those details. You're welcome to grab another one when you leave, but all the information's on there, how long it is, et cetera. And if you can't come to booster meetings, we'd love you just to volunteer for bingo. That's fine as well. Okay, and just a little bit more about how we also fundraise outside of just bingo. We take care of the concession snack shack out at the multipurpose turf field. We do this during varsity football home games and some other sporting events throughout the year. We do concession tables inside at the gym, again, for various sports. We have a car wash coming up. Anybody 7th grade and up that's willing to help is okay to volunteer. A sign-up sheet will be put in the office soon, and I'm sure Mrs. Page will announce that, and the kids can sign up. That's coming up October 4th. We have a long-standing comedy night that we've always done. That's also coming up November 15th, and Linda is, God bless her, she takes care of that. And then we have the annual golf classic that comes up in June. The date's to be determined. This is also another big fundraiser that we do. This year we had the most teams we've ever had join, which was 35. So thank you, everyone who golfed and, again, gave donations, raffles, and things like that. We understand that you probably get bombarded with requests for raffles and things to donate. So we appreciate what you do specifically for the boosters and, of course, to every other organization that asks you. So really, with that being said, we meet once a month, the second Wednesday of every month, upstairs on the second floor. It's the Learning Common, otherwise known as the library, or vice versa, but we're upstairs. So come join us, see what it's all about. You're not obligated, if you come just to listen, to come again. We would just love for you to hear what's happening and participate a little bit. So if you have any questions, you can reach us out in the hallway or find us somehow. Thank you.
All All right, everyone. Well, I won't hold you anymore. Thank you so much. I wish everyone the best year. Look forward to seeing you out on the field, the courts, the turf, wherever it may be. You can split off. I have a list of some locations of sports that are here, of coaches that are here. So please feel free to go chat with them and ask any questions that you may have. And I wish you an amazing year this year. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Take care, everybody. See you soon.